light 'em up, 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 light 'em up, 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 light 'em up, up. I'm on fire.
Hey everybody! Episode 3 of Teen Wolf Season 3 aired tonight, and once again, we have not been let down. It was fantastic. We start off with a brother and a sister, little kids, just catching fireflies, no big deal, but we know what happened last episode at the end. Boyd and Cora are loose, and this little sweet moment doesn't last long with the brother and sister as they basically get trapped into a shed or something like that by Boyd and Cora and are nearly killed, but are saved by Scott. The first several minutes of the episode, we see Scott and Derek and Isaac. They're just going and trying to track Boyd and Cora, and that's pretty interesting. As that's going on, Lydia, she's in some kind of daze once she had that dream or whatever at the end of last episode, and she unconsciously drives, very dangerous in fact. Well, she's awake when she drives over there, but not really knowing what she's doing. She drives to some pool or something and finds the dead body of some guy. And I don't know. Really sucks. Really sucks for her. After that, we see Allison sitting in her car overlooking that romantic spot. That spot is just... that's like the epic spot of Teen Wolf, overlooking the whole city of Beacon Hills. Basically, she's thinking back to Scott telling her about how her mother was trying to kill him when she was ultimately bitten by Derek and ended up killing herself. Allison asked Scott why he didn't tell her, and he just, typical Scott, he tells her he didn't want that to be his last memory of his mother. So sweet, but Allison, I think she's pretty pissed about that, just because she loves Scott and her mother was a bitch. And we also see Derek at the end of this little flashback come up holding Erica's body. It's really sad and just... But then Allison pulls out of her glove box in her car like a big arrow, and we know she's going to go and start trying to help out and go back to hunting and helping Scott and everybody. So all this is going on, and then we see two girlfriends. They're just in a tent, and I think they're going to have their first time together, and, well, one of them. It doesn't last long. Nothing happens because... one of the girls, I think her name was Emily, she gets scared. There's like bugs on her and shit, and she runs out and she disappears and ends up getting killed. They show a swarm of bugs covering her on the ground, but I don't think that's not how she's killed, ultimately. Then we see the other girlfriend, Caitlin, I think? Yes. She gets cornered by Cora. Cora shows up. Then Isaac shows up, and this girl that knows nothing about werewolves is kind of freaking out because she's like, what the hell is going on? What is this? And she's scared. She's scared shitless. Scott and Derek show up. They all fight, and blah, blah, blah. Cora runs off, and Scott's like, go and get somewhere safe. Get out of the woods. It's not safe. We then go to... Lydia, she calls up, well, before that, we see Scott's, like, saying that it's not effective, them trying to find Boyd and Cora by themselves, and he tries to convince Derek and Isaac that they need Mr. Argent's help. Not sure how that's gonna work out, but anyways, we go and we see Lydia has called Styles, and Styles shows up to the pool, and she tells him about the body and all this stuff, and she, like, tells him that she called the police first, and he's like, why'd you call the police first? And she's like, they're the police, you're supposed to call them? So he starts, like, examining the body, and he calls Scott, and telling him about all this, and so Scott and Derek and Isaac, they think that Boyd and Cora have killed some guy, and Yeah, so we go on, and Scott, Isaac, and Derek, they head over to, I'm guessing it's a grocery store parking lot, because Mr. Argent is putting up groceries. But Scott approaches Mr. Argent, and he gets a gun pulled on him. And it's so just... Mr. Argent, you're just too gun happy. Anyways, he basically tells Scott that he doesn't want to help them because everything with werewolves and the hunting has ruined his life, and I could see that, but I mean, seriously, dude, you gotta help out when you can. That's just the right thing to do. So basically, once he tells Scott no, Scott's like, oh, okay, well, I need a favor real quick. And they go to the crime scene, and Mr. Argent sees the body of that guy at the pool getting pulled into an ambulance, and he finally is like, okay, I'll help you. And Derek and Isaac didn't think that this was going to work out in the first place. And there was also a very funny, awkward conversation between Derek and Isaac during the whole Scott trying to convince Mr. Argent to help them. Because Isaac's, like, asking Derek about his sister, and he's like, or I won't ask you about... Because Derek's, like, you can see Derek is starting to want to get into that protective older brother role, and, yeah, I'm wondering if there's going to be something between Isaac and Cora. But I don't think, I don't know. I don't know if Isaac's going to be brave enough to start something like that. Anyways, Mr. Argent goes, and he's like basically helps gets them to tap into their senses and stuff, because they're trying to pull back their urges because it's a full moon, and that's just how they are, because if they let go of their senses on the full moon, they can get wild because they're werewolves. And the full moon, yeah, werewolves, full moon, yeah. Anyway, so he pulls out these ultrasonic sound device things that they're going to use to set in different locations and basically lure Boyd and Cora to the high school boiler room to trap them in there until the sun comes up. And they don't think anybody's over there at the school because it's the middle of the night. Yeah, nobody's going to be at the school. No, it's the middle of the night. That pretty teacher of Scott's is there. That's just kind of obvious that it's going to be her. Anyways, we see Stiles and Lydia going over to her house. We walk inside and all this stuff, and Lydia's like, you didn't have to come inside with me, and he's like, I wanted to make sure you're safe, and Stiles tries to figure out about how Lydia found that body, and Lydia basically says she doesn't know, but the only time something like this has happened to her before was when she, went and, drugged everybody at her party, and then, went and drugged Derek and used him to bring Peter back to life. And so we're like, oh, what is this? Then we flash to Peter, and he's just kind of while Derek's putting one of those device things in the ground, Peter's trying to give him advice and the ups and downs of both ways or whatever. Peter just does not care what happens. He is just an asshole. Yeah, he's an asshole. I don't think he has no sentimentality at all, because he's just oh yeah, family reunion with Cora and stuff can happen once she's not all crazy and stuff, and he's just not interested in helping her. He does not care. See? He's just an asshole. I don't think he'll ever change. Nope. No, Peter, you won't. We then see, Stiles. He goes to the hospital, and basically, Scott's mom is showing him the body of that guy at the pool, and she's showing it wasn't a werewolf, killing. It wasn't. So we're WTF? Because I was I didn't expect that at all. Then, and we can kind of see there's another body laying there. So, basically, that other body is revealed to be Heather, who was killed in the last episode. She got abducted in the last episode. We didn't know she was killed. But, yeah, that's Stiles' friend from childhood, Heather. and she was killed the exact same way as that guy. And Styles is starting to figure things out, and he's like, he's starting to figure things out, so we don't find that out right then. Then we go to the school, and they're still working on trapping Boyd and Cora, and once in the process of trapping Boyd and Cora, we see Allison going and doing her, like, nobody sees her except for Isaac. And she, like, does those flash arrows and kind of blinds them and forces them to, like, go inside. And so that's her little part. She was not in the episode a lot. I'm sure she'll have a bigger part next episode. But once they're inside the school, we see them running, and Derek and Isaac and Scott are trying to figure out how to get them to the boiler room, and finally Scott and Derek get them to chase them to the boiler room. They lock them in there, and Derek's like, "Can you hear anything?" And he's like, "Yeah, 3 heartbeats." So yeah, the teacher somehow ended up in that boiler room with them. And yeah, that's not good. Then that's not good. Then we see Styles. He's talking to that other girl because he's trying to figure out what's going on. The girl Caitlin, the other girlfriend, and he finds out that she was a virgin. So he's putting together that all 3 of the people killed so far are virgins. Well, we don't know that. He doesn't know that Emily was killed yet, but he assumes. So yeah. Then we go back to the school, and Derek goes in there, and Scott's like, "They're either going to kill you or you're going to kill them." And so he goes in there all alone and basically almost gets killed. The sun starts coming up, and somehow he's able to knock them unconscious. But he's just so messed up in that fight. I was sad. I didn't like seeing Derek all hurt. It was sad. Scott and Isaac run in there, and basically Derek has them take Cora and Boyd away to wherever. Derek goes and helps the teacher out of wherever she was hiding. And after that, we go to, man, this part was just, whoa. If Styles did not exist, Teen Wolf wouldn't be the same. Styles is like a step ahead of them, because he's figuring out these killings all by himself, and, well, mostly by himself. I'm so impressed with Dylan O'Brien as Styles and how he has evolved as a character through the 3 seasons. He's amazing. So at the end, we see Styles and Scott talking, and they're basically in the morgue and talking about the killings, and Styles says they're human sacrifices. It's some kind of human sacrifices are being made of virgins. Yeah, like that hadn't been done before. But it's weird. And they're all getting killed the same way. Strangled, throat slash, head bashed in. It's really sad. Then we flash to the end, and Styles' dad finds Emily's body, like, pinned to a tree, and she's dead, and it's just an oh shit moment. This episode was just, it was awesome. I don't have many other words besides it was awesome. And quick thing, I don't know if y'all thought so, but Isaac in that scarf, I really enjoyed it. He looked there was some really great Skazik moments too this episode, if you know what I mean. Anyways, I hope y'all continue to watch my channel and subscribe. Also, below in the description, you'll see a link to a giveaway I'm having on my blog. It's to celebrate my 10th vlog, the last one I had. And you should go enter. You might win something really cool. Have a great night. Bye.